Today on Beardo and Weirdo, we're being joined by Frank Bello from Anthrax. They have some new music coming out, and Frank tells some personal stories that are really, really powerful. And then Frank Bello and I both have two halves to an incredible story that's never been told about two of the biggest comedians who have ever lived.
And my God, you got to join the Patreon to hear the long explanation that he just went through that would have doubled the length of this podcast. Today on Beardo and Weirdo.
I'm a little talkative.
A little?
And I'm not even on coke anymore.
Long Island and Houston, Texas. We are coming to see you. That's right. Me, Mr. Chris Kael from the rock and roll band Five Finger Death Punch.
And Craig Gass, the comedian from Family Guy, King of Queens, maybe an episode of Star Wars. I don't know. Hey, listen, we're coming to Mulcahy's in Long Island on August 3rd, Monday, August 3rd, the night before Five Finger Death Punch does their show in Wantagh at Jones Beach. And also, we're going to be in Houston, Texas on Saturday, September 26th, the night before Five Finger does their show in Houston. Tickets are available at getgas.com. Getgas.com with two S's for all the tickets for Long Island, Houston, and also other shows on the road.
And guaranteed the closest you're going to get to me at these prices. See you out there, guys.
Absolutely.
And Craig's going to be there, too.
Yeah. Cost me $20 just to have lunch with him.
Hi, everybody. This is Gene Simmons from Kiss. And we're about to introduce one of the greatest bass players of all time behind me, Gene Simmons. I'm here with my partner, Paul Stanley. Say hello.
How you doing?
And we're here.
Inside of my audience, you deserve a round of applause. How are you?
That's good.
And we're introducing a man who stole everything from Kiss. If it wasn't for Kiss, he would be nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Frank Bello from Anthrax.
It's a pleasure to be here tonight. I really appreciate you having me on so late at night. It's 1 o'clock in the morning here, and Kiss is the best.
I've always said he actually just mastered both impressions. There's offstage Paul Stanley and there's onstage Paul Stanley. And they're two very distinct impressions.
Yeah.
Like only you know that. Only you.
Yeah, I remember, I always quote this one interview where somebody said, it was like a press conference, and they said, "Why is Kiss so amazing?" And Paul said, "You know, a lot of bands are envious of Kiss. I'm even envious of Kiss." And it's like, wow, that is some confidence. Yeah. And then on stage, Paul best. Stanley, where
listen,
Frank, is there any one particular on-stage rap that Paul Stanley has done that you quote as your favorite funny rap?
He's got to think about it.
Well, my favorite Paul Stanley rap was always when he had that whole thing going, when some girl came up to me and said today, "Paul, what's that you got in your pants?" That whole thing. And that's the great introduction to, the whole thing was, "Honey, that's my gun." I mean, it's a great introduction to Love Gun. And I bought it too, because I was like, all right, Paul just announced the song, but I love the way he did it. It worked for me. And I had my hands up. It was awesome.
Same.
Jeremy, our old drummer, actually gave me a YouTube video. I think it's a YouTube video, yes, but it's an audio of like an hour of these Paul Stanley things up on stage. And
we're all familiar.
Awesome. Oh,
yeah.
Awesome.
There's one that I really think needs to see the light of day, and I can't believe I haven't seen it go viral. And I'm going to have Alex get on top of this. He did it every night, because I know he did it every night because I saw 3 separate stops on the Kiss Def Leppard tour, and this is how he was doing the stage rap before this one particular song. At one moment in the show, Paul would go, "All right, people, you know everywhere you look right now, it's bad news. Turn on the TV. It's bad news. Open the newspaper. It's bad news. This is Lick It Up." What the fuck? Like that? What? There was not even, it was just, here's some words, here's Lick It Up. And that was what he decided to settle into for the entire tour. I saw 3 stops on the tour where he gave that speech and then went right into Lick It Up. It didn't make any sense to me.
Every time I turn on the television, there's bad every day. Pick up the newspaper, bad news. Turn on the radio, bad news. Open up the computer, look on the internet, bad news. There's lots of bad news in the world. It ain't a crime to be good to yourself. Don't wanna wait till you know me.
Now, Frank, you are a huge Kiss fan. Do you remember the moment that you first saw Kiss, and how did that affect your life?
1976, Nassau Coliseum, New York, Long Island, obviously. It was that Destroyer tour, and they were going on to the next level for the next record, but they were still playing the Destroyer stuff. And I saw that, man, and I said, that's what I want to do. The whole thing, they had the songs first off, which I think they're still underrated to this day. And they had the show to back it, and they didn't give a fuck. I love that they didn't give a fuck. I don't care what I look like. I'm going to go out there and do the best I fucking can and just leave them all floored. And that's what they did to me. And that's impressionable as whatever I was, 13, 14 years old. And it made me want to do that. And, for me, it's ongoing. Kiss for me is a lifelong thing. It'll never end. Even if they retire, I don't know if they're retired right now. I have no idea. But it doesn't matter. I'm very thankful that they were in my life. And I tell Gene and Paul this all the time. Thank you. And Gene wrote the foreword to my book, for God's sake.
Yes.
That is fucking big for me. That's a big deal. If you told Frank, the 13-year-old Frank Bello, that Gene Simmons would one day write the foreword to your book and compliment you on your bass playing. And he talks about listen to his bass playing. Gene listened to my bass playing. Thank you, God. You know what I mean? It's a huge deal to me, and it always will be. And I only hope that people in their life could have something in their life like Kiss that we all did. You understand? I
do want to pull back the curtain a little bit, because we're talking to a man who, like you, can stand in front of tens of thousands of people and feel totally okay with that. He's able. The two of you are able to do these things that would make people just shrivel up. But how long did you hesitate before you hit up Gene Simmons to say, "Can you write the foreword to my book?"
Well, my co-author, my co-writer, actually. Joe MacGyver actually asked him. I said, "There's no way." I just told him, "There's no way. You could try. It's never going to fucking work."
Yeah.
Because I would say to Gene, can you? I would just say it straight out, Gene, would you mind? Well, there's a lot of things included with that, Frank. I don't know how we. He would just. He goes, well, we would do. I have to say that there might be a fee. There might not be a fee. I have to see where I'm at that time.
Right.
And he would just go into that whole thing. And of course he would do, because Gene is the best. I know he's got this history of people talking stuff about him. He's always been great to me. Paul and Gene actually have always been great to me. Yeah. Ace and Peter, same thing. The great thing about Kiss, and I know we're on this whole Kiss thing right now, I'll always love them. I will always love them. The original Kiss for me was a godsend to my life, because they took me out of a bad place. Family separating, dad and mom splitting up, all that stuff. They were something I could look forward to, and it made me feel good in a time of darkness.
Agreed.
And I'll always be thankful for that.
I think all fans feel like that about music. All fans, they feel this great escape, and especially when the music that really speaks to you. I feel like we all know about music, and we get into certain types of music as a kid, and then there's a certain kind of music that just speaks to us.
Yeah.
And for me, it was hard rock, heavy metal, and I just went, "What is this?" And then for a lot of people, Kiss was. It's crazy. There's people like Frank. There's guys in all different types of rock and hard rock, country artists like Garth Brooks.
Right.
Who were influenced by Kiss. I know people.
You mean serial killer Garth Brooks?
Yeah, serial killer. Tom Segura has some theories about Garth Brooks. But then I know people who have become roadies, that their dream was to someday be a roadie for Kiss. And I know that Kiss has fully taken advantage of people whose dream it was to work for Kiss.
Absolutely.
I also know a guy like Big Val Bachekis, who was a security guy for Pantera and for Ozzy, and Big Val, his moment of this is what I want to do was also at a Kiss concert. And he said, I saw Kiss on the Love Gun tour at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Phoenix. The lights went out, Kiss went up, and I went, who are the guys in the yellow shirts in the pit? And that's what he wanted to do with his life. Nice. So yeah, it is absolutely full circle.
When you hear the calling from Kiss, regardless of what that call is, you answer it. Frank and I are both living proof of that, as is Big Val as well.
Yeah. Frank, how weird is it as you guys are releasing a new album that Anthrax is still relevant? Your audience is still there, and that you get to live this life that you were drawn to as a 13-year-old kid.
Well, here's the truth. The three of us, we're all big boys here. We've been doing it a while, right? In comedy, music, grateful, right? You're grateful. First off, I know what we're about. We have that angst. The three of us that here on talking right now, we have this angst in us, right? We have to get it out. Mm-hmm. Look, at this age, even where I am right now, I have this fucking angst that the only way to get it out is what we're doing. And this is the best release of whatever angst that is. And I only hope I could transfer that to people through the music that we write and all that good stuff. And listen to a song and fucking, if you're having a bad day, I want you to listen to this and fucking get away a couple of minutes, right? And when you come to a show, that hour and a half, I don't want you to think about your fucking problems. I'm going to go up there and kill myself. I'll fucking break my ass on that stage to make you have a fucking good time. And I think that's all we do. I think that's what we do. The three of us on this call right now. I think that's what it's about. I think we all know that. I just want to make people just feel fucking like there's something better out there. And there's a bad time right now. We're going to get better. And that's what it is. Release, baby. Release.
And I would like to point out that out of the three people here that have that same shared angst, one of us still has his hair. So, so clearly he's handling a little better than the two people in studio today.
That's Italian stuff. I have no idea. That's before me. My dad, whoever he was, that was before. The genes are somewhere. I don't know where it came from, but thank God. Whatever it takes.
The thing that I'm noticing as a comedian who doesn't always stay in really nice hotels is I'm thinking when because Frank is talking to us right now at 1:00 in the morning in Dresden, Germany, and the hotel room he's in right now, clearly better than the hotels I usually stay at. How often do you look back and go, man, we stayed in some shit holes? Like, are there any cities that you hit where you're immediately flooded with memories of your first time through in very humble situations?
Yes. Number one, I'll tell you, in the first tour of Anthrax, no money, 84, 85, whatever it was, through Europe. I remember we were staying, there were no hotels in those days for us. We stayed in people's houses. Now, when I say houses, that means you're staying in somebody's room. There's a family and you stay in the house and you're staying in their rooms. But check this out. The next morning, they say breakfast included with this deal, right? Mm-hmm. So the band and crew, which were two people that were our friends, in whatever, we traveled together in a van all along. And we go downstairs for breakfast and and the lady, nice lady, she's cooking. She looks like the typical lady that's going to cook breakfast, right? She goes, oh no, you have to go out to Bonn, get your eggs. Whoa. You have to go outside and go to the nest and pick your eggs out for your eggs in the morning.
Oh my God.
What she's going to cook. Yeah. And that's for me, it's of course, that's just part of where you came from and what makes the history and whatever you want to call it, the journey, right? Yeah. You remember those humble times because there's no money. I think we were getting $5 a day for breakfast. That's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That was per diem for everything.
Yeah.
You have $5 to eat, right? That's what you ate. And if you, whatever the fuck coffee was that back then, 95 cents, then you have $4 to have some bread and whatever else. And that egg, or hopefully it was 2 eggs that the fucking chicken shit out. It doesn't matter. It just makes me really appreciate, look, we're in a nice room and I'm grateful for it, but don't ever forget where you came from. That's the whole point.
Yep. I remember many, many tours back in the day, touring locally. And my food that entire tour was bread and peanut butter. I would have peanut butter sandwiches. That was my thing. Getting your protein, you're feeling full. That was it.
I wonder if Frank, because of circumstance, what your workaround was that you figured out. Like, I'll always remember, I don't think he minds me telling the story, but Corey Taylor has this great story about when they did their first Ozfest, that they were allowed as a band, and Slipknot has 200 guys in the band. Yeah. And as a band, they were allowed 2 comps for every show, a total of 2 guests for every show. Ooh. And they would send a guy to get those 2 tickets, sell them, come back, buy bread, peanut butter, whatever, and survive. Did you guys figure out workarounds like that on the road on how to like be able to stretch your dollars like that?
Well, I remember when you got a loaf of bread, you make that last a couple of days until it went green, right? Look, this is the way I look at it, man. You were young, you didn't know any better, but you knew this was the path, hopefully, to get to the next level.
Yeah.
Right. And it's all the dream. We all have this dream, but how do you, that angst and all that stuff, it keeps you going to the next day. And that $5 had to last. So maybe I spent $3 and I saved $2 for the next day. And McDonald's, if there was a McDonald's there, that's a great hit right there, because you can get the Happy Meal, whatever it's called, the breakfast meal, all that shit. And then it fill it for the day. And then you get to the shows. This is back in the 80s. I remember people made like this mixture of, I call it glow in the dark gook. I don't know what it was. That's the only. They'd have it backstage, and they said this was some kind of, I don't know, it was a goulash, whatever the fuck it was. It was not to be eaten. There's no way any of us New York boys are ever going to touch this glow in the dark shit. There's no way. It's fucking vibrating, fucking death. There's no way any of us are going to eat that. So that was all left, and then we'd eat the bread. Hey, let me tell you something. Bread and cheese in those days, and the peanut butter went forever. That's the great thing. I'll always love cheese for that reason.
And the great reveal, the goulash, that's what they do with the moldy bread. That's where it goes.
Really?
It
always gets used.
It was unedible, and I tasted it once. I think I had the shits. It didn't matter. Nothing mattered after that. I did not want it. It was done.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for those of us who are Anthrax fans like myself, and I've seen them dozens and dozens of times over the years, going all the way back to the Among the Living tour, where I saw him in a nightclub in Tucson, Arizona. I saw a show in Phoenix, and I always end up bringing it up to these guys. It was, when I say the Celebrity Theater, do you know what I'm about to say, Frank?
No, but I want to hear. Let me hear this.
It was one of the craziest fucking things I've ever seen in my life. It's Among the Living, and the band, that opening track to the album before the that's playing before the band runs out and starts to kick in with their instruments. Mm-hmm. And as the band comes out, it's a stage like the one in Westbury that's in the round.
Oh, really?
In the round.
I remember this, yeah.
And Frank, the whole band comes running out. There's a ramp that goes up to the middle of the stage, and then boom, 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 fireworks start going off. Somebody took some firecrackers, lit them, threw them at the band right in Frank's ear.
Dude, that's a great story. I forgot. I can't believe you're remembering this.
I was there. I saw the show the night before. It was the night before in Tucson, and then we loved the show so much. We're like, we got to get tickets for Phoenix, and we went up to Phoenix. And then Scott gets on the microphone after like a delay and says, "Well, this show might not be happening now because some asshole had to threaten." Boo! And then I think 20 minutes went by. But Frank, what do you remember about that night?
Scared shit because I couldn't hear.
Oh,
and because you hear that shh, and all of a sudden you hear that high pitched thing, exactly, and you don't hear anything. That was before the days of in-ears and all this stuff. I didn't wear earplugs. All blah blah blah.
Yeah,
but man, that's what I remember, being scared because I thought I lost my hearing because it was right on it. It scared the fuck out of me. I said, I can't hear. I can't fucking hear. And I couldn't make notes out and all that stuff. And whatever the inflammation, whatever the hell it was for that shock went away, where I can actually, listen again and people talking to me and stuff. And it went away, thankfully. And we carried on because nobody wanted to, cancel the show.
I wonder if Frank is now like one of those NFL players from the 60s where, oh yeah, just get back out there and just play. And then, but like now he's going to lose all his hearing in the next few weeks because of that.
No doubt.
Like he's the concussion. But the new song that came out, It's for the kids. I'm shocked at the aggression that you have. It reminds me of when Kiss came out with Unholy. I was like, where the fuck did this come from?
No.
Like it's the aggression. Like, who usually introduces the ideas when you come in for like, and have you developed a thick skin in that creative process?
Yeah, you have to. It's Charlie Scott and I getting together. Pretty much. It's really, and look, we're brothers at this point. We go back and forth, and everybody knows the tales of Anthrax. You know, there's some ugly stuff.
Yeah,
that happens. I think that adds to the intensity of the music. I do. I truly believe that that's what happens.
Yeah.
And there's some, some cuts and bruises, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that lends to a great record and intensity. And yeah, so the three of us get together and bring out ideas, give files, and now it's files, it's not tapes anymore. And whatever's best wins, and we get together, and all of a sudden you get to this feeling that we start nodding, and you know how it is. It's like, all right, this is it.
Yeah,
and that's cool. So, and when that came out, we all knew, okay, we're moving on, and then it becomes a song, and then you just know, all right, this is the first song out. You listen to all the songs on the record. I said, all right, this is the initial, and then the second one, and that's how it is now. It's you have to release singles. You can't just release albums anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I feel like Anthrax is probably a lot like Five Finger Death Punch, where we have some infighting, which helps for the creativity process of the record writing, and we'll fight amongst each other. But the minute somebody from outside tries to do something, whoosh, we circle the wagons, and we are us against the world at that point.
It's a pack, and absolutely, like, we'll have the inner stuff going on, but God forbid somebody from the outside comes into that, and that's the way it is, man.
Absolutely.
I mean,
not only God forbid, but God help them.
Exactly. And we've been schooled around a little bit. I mean, we've been around the block a few times, so we just smell it. And maybe it's a look. Maybe it's a look. You just, what, really? And maybe it's a tone. But you know what I wanted to tell you guys?
Yeah.
You just mentioned, Greg, about the in the round, right?
Yeah.
In the round stage. And I don't know if I ever told you. I don't know if I ever told you this story.
I know what you're about to say, because I was going to ask you about it. But go ahead. Let's hear it.
Rickles, should I even bring it up?
I would love to hear the story. I was going to ask you about it.
Okay, but some dude sent me this on video, and I didn't know it existed. Long story short, I'm a big Don Rickles fan, as a lot of people are. I'm sure you guys are.
Yeah.
Rest his soul. Westbury Music Fair. I brought my wife. It was our anniversary with some family members. Got hooked up. I had the second row of in the round of Westbury Music Fair. What is it called? Westbury Music Fair.
Westbury Music Fair. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So great place because it's in the round. So Regis Philbin. I don't know how many people of your audience know who that is. We'll look it up.
Right.
Him and his wife opened up, which I loved. I just, because I was a Regis fan, I watched this show.
Oh, wow.
Blah. It was awesome, right? So then my wife and I, so happens that we get these seats that, when the ticket guy, you ask him where you're sitting, and he keeps going down and down near the stage.
Yeah.
We had second fucking row to Don Rickles. Second row. I'm just saying right off the bat, I'm scared shit because I know what he does, right?
Oh, yeah.
As you guys know what he does.
Well, he
takes people.
And there's a key part of this, which is that the people in the front row were not there.
Oh,
yes.
So Frank's exposed.
Totally exposed. And Don Rickles doesn't give a shit about Frank Bello from Anthrax. Nobody look, that's not whatever, blah, blah, blah. So he comes on, I'm loving it. He's going through the routines. I know some of them I don't, most of them I do. And I'm cackling because I know what's coming. And I guess I laughed, or I cackled loud in a really quiet part because I knew it was coming. And all of a sudden, when all of a sudden you say, I see this, Don Rickles, this. And he looks at me, dude, it's like zoning in on me. It scared I felt fucking lasers, dude. I felt lasers. He zoned in on me. I couldn't get out of it. I'm going down like this in my seat because I know he got me. It's like, it's a shark attack. It's a fucking shark attack, right? He's coming right at me. He goes, you, right? And this is on, I'm not lying because this is on fucking YouTube. He goes, you. He has his part in the show, as you know. Get up here.
Yeah.
He pulls me, he tells me to come up on stage. I said, me? He goes, yeah, who do you think I'm talking about? He just completely abuses me. So the idiot and clumsy bastard that I am. So all of a sudden you have to go onto the stage. There's no fucking stairs. I have to climb the row in front of me and onto the stage. Of course, I fall up the fucking stage. I
fell on stage in front of Rickles.
On stage. Goes, what's wrong with you? He's just abusing me as I'm walking onto the stage. What are you doing? What the hell's wrong with you? Get up here. Right? So he has me doing one of the, that whole skit he has with the Japanese soldier. I'm one of the soldiers. He's just abusing me. He's dropping his mic, making me pick it up. He's just screaming at me. And he asked me the really uncomfortable question about my father. What does your father do? I said, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? I said, I'm abandoned. What the hell? And he just fucking abuses me. He just completely abuses me. And I'm just, it was one of those, I tell you, I was one of the most scary times I've ever had in my life, but absolutely one of the most invigorating, amazing times I've ever had on this. Never felt that before. And then he comes up to me at the end of it and he goes, you were great. That was in my ear. And that was, for me, the best time I've ever had on stage, hands down.
Best and most frightening.
Do you know who Tony Hinchcliffe is?
No.
Tony Hinchcliffe, he is an incredible roaster. He was on the Tom Brady roast, shined on that one. Was just recently on the
roast of Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
So I know you're talking. I know his face. Now I know. I put the face to the name. Yeah, now I know who you're talking about.
So I had met Tony through Craig and went to the show at the Comedy Mothership down in Austin, Texas. We come back later and I go out there for the New Year's Eve show. And the day after, he's doing like it was Hans Kim and friends, and Tony Hinchcliffe showed up. I was up in the balcony where you couldn't really see me up there, just the way the lighting was. Tony comes in, full Tony, WWE, roasted, ready to go. And at one point, he's in full villain mode, and he's talking about, last night at the HEB Center, I had a police escort. How many of you fucks have ever had a police escort? And I was like, up here. And he still couldn't see me at this point. So I lean up, and he goes, what do you do? And I lean forward, lights on me finally. I go, Chris Kael from Five Finger Death Punch. And the whole crowd goes, oh! Yeah. And at that moment, I realized Tony has a mic and is great at roasting.
Yeah.
I'm in the balcony and have zero. So he goes, wait, you guys are that big? And some guy in the crowd goes, yeah. I'm like, I can't say it, but they just did. And he goes, wait, you guys got that big? He does that boy band. My mom doesn't love me.
Yeah.
You got that big doing that. All right. And he let me off the hook. I thought he was going to crush me in that moment. I was like, why can't you just shut up and let Tony have his moment? You got to insert yourself into this because Mr. Entertainer, hey, look at me. And then I get it. I walked from there over to the Mothership, and he was standing outside, and he saw me. He goes, Mr. Five Finger Death Punch. You thought I was going to get you, didn't you? I go, dude, thank you so much. He goes, you know why I didn't? And he had this huge Texas belt buckle on, and he goes, because I'm the fucking champ.
Dude, there's some nuances to Frank's story about him being on stage with Rickles. If I remember correctly, there's a guy in the audience who tried to say, that's a guy from Anthrax. Didn't somebody yell that out?
We are so on the same page because I forgot to say that. And because he asked me what I did for a living. I'm not going to say Anthrax. Fuck that. There's no way. Because what going to take that with and go with it, right? There's no way I said I'm a musician. What do you mean? And of course, some guy from the audience, he's an Anthrax. He didn't hear it. Thank the Lord.
Yeah.
He just didn't hear it. And I was so grateful because I was shitting in my pants. I said, if he hears this, then I got to get into this whole thing. What the hell's Anthrax? And I'm like, oh my God, let me just get off the stage. I'm begging you, God.
Mm-hmm.
I was I was really scared.
Frank put out a book a few years ago, and there were things in that book I had no idea that Frank had been through in his life, which makes the Don Rickles story a little more of a telling tale, because Don Rickles says, what does your father do? And he goes, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, because his dad left when he was a young kid. And then as he's growing up, and actually this wasn't even growing up. This is, I believe, was in the 90s when that incident happened with your brother.
March 25th, fortunately, 1996. Yeah.
1996. His brother was killed on the streets of the Bronx.
Oh my gosh.
And then Frank goes on to tell in the book that, and this is also something that I just went, you are kidding me. Mm-hmm. He wanted revenge on this guy, and he actually, for a short period of time, went hunting.
Ooh.
Yeah. He was, it's an understandable thing, man. For all of us who have experienced trauma, it brings out a side of you that you would not expect to have. And Frank was looking and wanted revenge. And it wasn't until, and Frank being a family guy, realizing what this would mean for his mother. If he also,
his Italian mother.
Yeah. And, look, I'll be honest, and just to go into this for a bit, I have a temper, with the whole thing, for a lot of anger, went through a lot of therapy for the abandonment stuff, all that stuff. But when that happened, it was such a blow. When your brother, what happened was, I'll give you the full story here. March 25th, 1996, I was in my condo in New York, and Charlie, my drummer, he's my uncle. We're related. You guys know that, right?
Yep. Yeah.
I hear 10 o'clock. I think it was 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. Somebody running up my stairs. All of a sudden, I get banging on my door. I'm on my couch watching TV. I said, "What the fuck?" I go to my door. I said, "What the hell?" It's Charlie. And I opened it. He goes, "Charlie." I opened the door. He goes, "You got to come. Anthony's been shot. He's dead."
Oh my God.
I fall to the floor. And this is all true story. And it's always helpful when I revisit this, because it's therapeutic, and I think of my brother in a great way. So I miss him. But that I fell to the floor. Charlie picked me up. He brought me down to the Bronx, to the scene, which looks like a Law and Order scene. That's the best way I could describe it. You have in the Bronx, where I grew up, ambulance, cops everywhere, people in a circle around. And then you have my brother under a sheet.
Oh my God.
Which is terrible. And then you have my mother crying her eyes out. Terrible stuff. Don't know what to do, but the fucking people that put the sheet over my brother didn't cover his brand new shoes that he was so proud of, that he just showed me, that had blood splatter. And then that's the vision. That's the vision I still have in my head. The brand new shoes that still have fucking blood on them. It drove me fucking crazy. They were stupid enough not to cover his feet too. So that's a little pet peeve of mine. So I go over to hug my mom, and there's no words. And then we went through the trial, and it was just like a bad, I love Scorsese, but it was like a Scorsese movie where these guys were tough guys that wanted to be, made, all that nonsense, right? Oh no! And these were tough, and it was a big story. It was a big deal. My brother happened to be a pretty good knockout guy, and he had a fight with a couple of guys, one guy specifically, the year before, and he knocked him out. This guy wanted revenge, and this guy knew some people, blah blah blah, and it got ugly. And we went. They dragged us through the criminal court system of New York City, the Bronx, and I would never wish that on the worst enemy. So we go in the court, and you see this prick that did it, right? No names here. The prick that did it, and his friends and family, and then you have my family, and the prick that did it comes out in cuffs, and he's trying to eye my family down. Me and my brother are just about my surviving brother. We're going to go for it, and we couldn't, because that would be bad for my mom. And look, I'm no tough guy, but there is a level of of bullshit you can't tolerate. It was pretty bad, long story short, but it was ugly. And the thing you were talking about, right after it happened, there were 2 weeks of darkness where I didn't give a fuck if I was in Anthrax, if I was, a guy who was just going to get married to my wife. It didn't matter. All I knew is this guy took down my brother. And so I waited outside. That's the truth. I mean, it's in my book. You can read all this stuff. I zoned around. I had my car. I waited all nights from 9 o'clock to 4 a.m. That's just the story. I never had a gun in my life until then.
Oh, damn.
Never did. But I got a gun. My family didn't know. Nobody knew anything what I was doing. Nobody knew anything. It was just me in a complete darkness. I didn't even know who I was, because all I know, and again, not a tough guy here, but it was another level that I didn't know. I don't want to even visit that guy anymore, because I'm just glad it worked out the way. And then 2 weeks later, I just started thinking, all right, if this happens, it's going to be, if I do this, I didn't give a shit about my career or anything like that. It's my family I really cared about. If I do this, then it's going to be retribution. Then they're going to take me out. And then my mother loses another kid.
Yeah.
Right. And who the fuck wants that?
Exactly.
And my future wife loses all that stuff. You know, you start thinking this stuff, and then it starts to clear up, and you have clarity, and you hope and pray that there's some kind of karma in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes there's not, sometimes there is. And from what I know, there hasn't been karma yet, but there's always.
I don't know. I believe the karma is that you were able to fight off those urges, and you're out there still doing your thing, living your best life, available there for your wife, for your mom, for your other surviving brother. So that's his karma, is that he's not able to do that, and you still are. You had the patience and the restraint to not go after it, and I applaud you for that.
Thanks, Chris. You know what, dude? And I'll be honest with you, I haven't even talked about it in a long time. It's still here.
Oh yeah.
I mean, how many years? How many years? It's 96. It's 26 now. It's still here. When you go through it, it brings you through the whole fucking story again. I still envision the same. I'm on that street. I'm like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
And you still get that fucking fire in you. But you know what? I agree, because for the better life, right?
Absolutely.
And you look, I'm on the earth. I want to make people feel better. Feel better. I don't want to make people feel bad. I want to make people feel better. And that's what I wanted. That's what I do. So I choose to be positive about it. And regardless of what happened, you move on. And hopefully that can inspire people to move on from the hardships they have.
Oh God, absolutely.
And
you know, that's the whole thing. I know it's a dark thing. The whole thing is a dark thing, but if something, that's what people are saying, like my book is, and I'm not promoting my book. It doesn't matter. I just want people to understand that you can brush yourself off and move on from hardships.
When you say that you didn't even tell anybody about it, that you went through this dark period, and you didn't tell them. Obviously, you revealed it now in your book, but who was the first person that you revealed that secret to?
My wife.
Oof.
My wife.
And did it feel good to get that off your chest, to be able to say, yeah.
You want to know the truth? Because, dude, I'm pretty out front, as you know. Yeah. We know each other a long time. Chris, you know me a little bit, but
yes, sir.
God, I'm pretty upfront with things, and I don't hide anything. And that I had to hide. To be honest with you, dude, I just didn't know how. At that point, it was so dark. I was another person. Yeah, I just went to be honest. Who the fuck? I never touched a gun in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I never touched a gun. I don't want to touch another gun in my life. It's just not me. But for that, I went to some people that shouldn't be talked to, and asked them, and I got a gun, and I was ready. I'm not a tough guy. I don't need the bullshit of tough guy shit. I'm not that guy.
And while you didn't get your revenge that way, the best revenge is not becoming those who hurt you.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
I agree with Chris. You're so fucking right, dude. And I feel, and I thank God, because look, I probably would. I'd be dead. I know I would be dead if I did what I wanted to do, because the retribution, all that shit, it wouldn't be back tit for tat, all that bullshit. Mm-hmm. And as you get older, you see, man, whoever was looking up after me, and maybe my brother, whatever, pulled me back from that fucking, wherever I was. Maybe it was him saying, what the fuck are you doing? This isn't you. Get out of this. Mm-hmm. Maybe, and I believe that, because I talk to my brother every day. Maybe he pulled me out of it, right? Mm. And that's the best way I could describe it. Maybe it was him that pulled me out of it and said, get the fuck out of here. He would do it for me. Believe me, my brother would have did it for me. Mm-hmm. It would have been done. Mm. But he knows me better than that. He says, no, you have bigger things to do and more things to do with family. Don't do this to mom. And that's the shit that got in my head.
When you talk about why does this happen? What can come out of this? Yeah. I do remember when he put his book out that, weren't there 2 charities that the profits from the book you were donating to 2 different charities?
Yeah. It was, and I believe, because it's a percentage. Look, it's not a bestseller to be honest, but whatever I did, it makes sense to give back. Yeah, and I think that's really important. So whatever money, I think there's a percentage. I didn't make the deal. The lawyers did all that stuff.
Okay,
but it's come on, man. We're very lucky for what we do. And if this book could help somebody, and from the proceeds from this book, it helps somebody, of course we're going to do that. That's what it's about. As you get older, you see what are we doing here? Come on, that's what we're doing here.
As a fan, growing up and getting into Anthrax when they first hit the scene, when I first saw them on Headbangers Ball with Indians and started going to their shows. When you become a fan, you know that family is really important to this band. You know that Frank and Charlie are related. And then there was a crazy story. I think this was like maybe the next album after that, but there was this really hilarious non-rock and roll story that comes out about Anthrax where they're on the road. They're on the road for so long that no one's calling moms. Like nobody's getting into their moms. And there's this, and it's almost like an urban legend story. So please clarify what the actual story was. That there was, and I asked Scott about this once years ago. I ran into him during the pandemic and I asked him about this, that there was a night when your moms were so fed up from not hearing back from you. This is before cell phones.
Yeah.
That the moms all got in a car and drove to a concert. Is that true?
No, it's a little diluted, but I'll tell you exactly what actually happened.
Okay.
And this is a true story. Rest my mom's soul. I miss your mom, blah, 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 all the good stuff, right? My mom, look, we grew up in an Italian-American house, right?
Yeah.
You know the thing. There's nurturing going on there. There's nurturing. I grew up from the deli in the Bronx, and all of a sudden I'm on these stages, right? And playing the clubs along America. I was in Pittsburgh. That's a long time. It's a long way from New York. Oh my God. I forgot to call my mother a couple of days. I'm sorry, right? Chris, you're on the road. Come on, you guys were on the road. You forget. And that's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
I swear to God, out of nowhere, one of the crew guys says, Frank, your mom's outside. Pittsburgh. I mean, what are you doing? I didn't hear. And of course, my mom, she was a fighter. God bless my mom, man. She goes, where were you? You no calls? No. And like, I was wrong. And I felt that was, again, I was 7 years old all of a sudden. It didn't matter. I was 7. Mom, sorry. Come on, let's go have some lunch. And you know, we had to sweeten it out. And she stayed for the show and all that stuff. I sweetened her up and all that stuff. But of course, I was the talk of the town, of course, because Frankie's mom had to come look after him, you know.
So it was just your mom. Just your mom showed up.
Just my mom, rest her soul. Yeah, look, we all had the very tight. And remember, my mom is Charlie Benanti's oldest sister.
Right.
So it's the same kind of family thing. So Charlie's looking at his older sister. What are you doing here? Right.
Oh, that is hilarious.
It's and we grew up. All our families knew. You know, all our families were close because we all came up together. And they were all together at the shows and all that stuff. So they all knew each other. But yeah, I mean, I think that's very much Anthrax. That's very much Anthrax because we're all we're still all family.
Yeah.
And I love the fact. And now you look at it now. In our 43rd, whatever the fuck year it is now. And you look about, I was having breakfast with the guys the other day and it said, we've been together. I've spent more time with you guys than I have with any wife, girlfriend, you know, only one wife, but any girlfriend, friends, family. We've spent more time together in life than home. It's because of the amount of touring we've done. I think that's accurate, which is crazy. And that's why you know, sometimes you have friction. And you clear it up and you move on.
Oh, dude, I've been saying for years, I've said it many times already, just a year and a half into this podcast, that I used to be envious of guys like you and Chris because I'm a comedian. I'm always alone on the road. And I see these guys who get to travel with like 10, 15, 20 guys. And I go, oh man, that looks like so much fun. And then I did it. I did a tour with a bunch of Howard Stern comedians. We did a run of House of Blues across the country. And that was worse than being by myself.
Yep. As you started telling that story, I saw Frank's face.
Yeah, start to smile.
I knew both of us were like, oh, you wanted to do that, did you?
Yeah, and then add on top of that, you're related.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh my God. Like, yeah, the like that is being thrown into a small space for years and years at a time, over and over again. You're going to get on each other. Like if you've ever been with your family to Disney World, you know you're going to get on each other's nerves.
Exactly.
It's just
Black Crows.
Yeah.
Perfect example too. The Robinson brothers.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's a good analogy right there.
Yeah.
Chris.
What's the other?
Really good analogy.
Oasis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. At any point, did you guys ever get outside help to work out stuff? Like,
we did.
Yeah, you guys worked on therapy.
There was a therapist one time. I think some of us walked out.
Yeah. You know what? I think therapy, I've been in couples therapy now, and I think
he's talking about with me.
Yeah. It's honestly,
got him.
Honestly,
the Fernet Bronco went up my nose just now. Good
I saw that.
Well, Frank,
excellent comedic timing on my part.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
By the way, speaking of comedy, before we let you go, any comedians that are floating your boat while you're on the road right now? Is there anybody that you're really into?
Have you seen? Well, I tell you, man, I've been watching Delirious, and I hate to go old school.
The same. Yep.
I just watched Delirious again, and then Raw right after that.
Oh yeah.
And you can see the inspiration to Pryor, right?
Oh yeah.
You can see the inspiration, but I don't think I've ever seen anybody elevate that like that. Because I'm a diehard Eddie Murphy fan. You guys probably saw the special, right?
Oh, that was like my routine that I told over and over again in junior high to everybody during like lunch breaks. I knew that whole Delirious front to back.
Yeah.
The Goonie Goo Goo and and then he could sing like Michael Jackson. Like he was so like not only great with impress.
Wants to party all the time.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, just look back at some of the skits like the ice cream.
Oh yeah.
You cannot have none.
Yep.
The whole dancing, he had it down. He had the balls to wear that leather suit.
Yep.
Fucking balls out. Fuck you. I'm on here and you're going to take it. I loved it.
Him and Mike from Loverboy.
Yeah.
Only two people that could pull that off.
Eddie Murphy goes on stage wearing a red leather outfit at the age of like 22.
Yeah.
And just murders and becomes the greatest comedian of his generation.
The confidence of youth.
Yeah.
And, I go back and then I listen to the Dice stuff, and I know Dice. And look, did I ever tell you my Dice story?
No.
Did you know that one?
No, I didn't know that there was. I was actually going to ask you about comedians who were friends of the band.
This is way back. This is way back in the day. Remember that show Cops?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to give it to you here. Mel's on Sunset?
My God, Frank, I have a connecting tissue to this story. Holy shit. Yeah, go ahead. Really? I cannot believe you're about. No, Big Val was there as well.
I didn't even see him.
I'll tell if you're about to tell the story I think you're about to tell, I'm gonna put some connective tissues to this that's gonna blow your fucking mind, because there was something going on in Los Angeles that night that Big Val was a part of. But go ahead.
Wow. Well, my story is, of course, we had a drink night with some active friends of mine and just hanging out in the corner of Mel's.
Yeah.
And eating fucking bad eggs and all that stuff. It was great. That's what we did. That's what everybody does. You go to Mel's, all of a sudden there's a big commotion outside, and Dice and a big posse comes in with him.
Yeah.
I'm a big Dice fan. I had never met. I just wanted to watch.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Dice is trying to get a table. And this is a true story, so I'm not making this up at all. This is just what I saw, right?
I know part of the story.
Yeah, so he goes to the front and tries to get a table, and it seems like there's a hard time getting a table, right? And they're not giving him a table. You know this, right? So they're not. I'm saying, why are they not giving this tables everyone? Why are they not giving Dice a table? And then there's some words. It gets louder, right? So they want Dice out of here. All of a sudden, it's a commotion, and all of a sudden, there's fucking cops that come in to Mel's. They put Dice in cuffs. And Cops the Show. All of a sudden, there's cameras with these cops taping all this shit. All of a sudden, they bring Dice out, and they have him against the fucking car, the cop car. Dice and of course, I just went out to see. I mean, make sure they don't abuse the guy and all that shit. I just want to make sure, not that I could do anything. I just like be a witness and shit. So what the fuck are they doing? And so, you want to take it from here, or should I tell you what I heard? Big
Val Bachekis that night had a gig in town at the Coliseum. He was doing security for Guns N' Roses, who had just opened for the Rolling Stones that night. Okay. They decided to go to Mel's to have a late night meal at Mel's, and Big Val has Duff McKagan and one other person with him. It might have been Sebastian. We should ask Sebastian about this.
Yeah.
But it was Duff and one other person. When he said, we get to Mel's Diner and we see Andrew Dice Clay against a cop car with cuffs on. And
that's what I saw.
And then, as his version of the story goes, a Corvette pulls up before Dice gets put in the cop car. And by the way, the backstory to this is Val finds out that sometime a year or two earlier, Dice had been so difficult to a waitress at Mel's that he got told to leave, and they said, you're never allowed to come back in. You're banned for life from this place, because he was so verbally abusive to this waitress. And he just walked in, and seeing him on site, the waitress went, nope. All 911, this guy's, get him out of here. Mm-hmm. And that was what the incident was. So Val Pacheca says, I get out, I've got Duff McKagan and one other person that I'm watching. We're walking up to Mel's. Dice is being handcuffed. This Corvette pulls up. License plate says X-Rev. Sam Kinison gets out of the Corvette with two.
I didn't know this.
With two like groupies, or I don't know, but he described them as like, they were like 80s
Band-Aids.
Yeah. And Sam, immediately the cops go, Sam! And Sam goes, oh, hey guys, what are you guys doing there? Is that, oh God, is that Dice? Are you arresting him for being a fucking loser? Oh! Throw him away! Oh!
I did not see that.
Mind-blowing. Yeah. Oh my God. Frank, I've said this so many times. I have forgotten entire relationships that I've been in, but I remember a good story. Yeah. I will remember a good story that I heard decades ago, but I'll forget everything else in my life. Yeah. So as soon as Frank said, you're not going to believe this, I went to Mel's and I went, oh my God, no way. No way.
And you just added that, which I've never heard before, to the Sam thing. I never even heard that before, which is awesome, because I missed that. I wish I would have seen that. I missed all of that. Oh my God. I must have went it back inside.
Wow. The Beardo and Weirdo exclusive.
Yeah. You know what? The next person we got to talk to, Sebastian is due on the show anytime now, but we also got to find Duff, because I'm not 100% sure if Sebastian was the other person with Duff and Val at that, but oh my God. But yeah, man, Frank, you are such a gem for talking to us at 1 o'clock in the morning in Germany. So thank you for doing that. And
my pleasure, boys. You guys, you guys rock. I love, and I'm happy about the success of your podcast, because you're funny. You're fucking good. That's it. Period. It's all good.
Frank, if people want to see you, they know where to go online. Obviously, Anthrax is easy to find online. Do you want to direct people to your social media?
At the Frank Bello. Follow me, Instagram, all this stuff we have to do nowadays that I'm not a big fan. Thing that we have to do. I'd rather just write songs, but I guess the Instagram thing, if you want to follow me and find out what I'm doing. Anthrax this is the third week of a 7-week tour in Europe. The whole festival run, and that's why I look like shit. It's gonna be great.
Iron Maiden. You guys been doing stadium shows on Iron Maiden.
A lot of Maiden shows, which is great. We're going to do some Maiden shows out there with the new Anthrax record. Comes out September 18th. So we put the first single out. I'm really happy. Thank you for everybody for the great reaction. Second single, I think it's the second week of July, and the record September 18th. We're pretty stoked because we haven't done this in a while. It's been 10 years, and the reaction it's a really nice thing to see and be part of.
Well, guys, I think we've got it settled. I think if you're a decent human being, if you have any decency in your bones, you will go out the door, or at least click online on September 18th, buy the album. Don't be a piece of shit. Oh, do it. Do the right thing, you jerks.
Dude, new Anthrax. What the fuck, man?
Dude, I think I just saw Andrew Dice Clay get arrested. What the fuck?
Awesome. That's so good.
Sorry, Frank.
That's awesome.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great night's sleep in Germany. We will see you soon, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Take care of yourselves.
All right, you too, buddy.
See you, my friend.
Peace.